Angels is a weekly reading. We're going to jump right in. We're beginning with Chariot, upright. Ace of Wands, reverse. Not sure yet from the Secret Messages of the Heart. Great Fortune from the Fortune Teller's deck. And Offer from the Twin Flame deck. So with these four cards alone, the Chariot upright, the Ace of Wands reverse, Great Fortune upright, and Offer upright, I'm seeing that this could be something having to do with a job or career. This could have to do with travel. And maybe travel that has been delayed or didn't happen when you expected it to happen or how you expected it to happen, but it's happening now or soon. It's have to do with a relationship, romantic partnership for sure. Somebody wanting to make you an offer, it being very abundant. So whether it's a romantic offer or it's a business offer, again, it leaves you with great fortune. It leaves you with a sense of abundance, whether that is monetarily or having to do with things like tangible items or love or combinations of those. So the Chariot can also have to do with somebody maybe moving house, okay, or moving locations. And again, something might be getting started this week. Maybe it's going to leave you with great fortune. Maybe you are selling your house, or maybe it's going to leave you with great fortune because you're buying a house and you're going to be property rich, right? Maybe you start the process this week, but you don't close yet. And that's why the Ace of Wands in reverse. This Ace of Wands in reverse is indicating that there's some sort of delay. But with the Seven of Cups in reverse behind Major Arcana card 7, notice the double sevens also, the divinity that's behind this, the divine guidance and protection that's involved here with this situation. With the Seven of Cups behind the Chariot, it's showing that there's a decision that's been made to get moving on something. And you see that the gentleman here is getting into the Chariot. He's decided, I'm ready to take off. And so he's not gone yet. It's in reverse. He's not moving yet, but there's a plan to move. All right. And we also see an indication of not only movement, but divine guidance being involved in that movement with the next card, the Eight of Wands, also upright. Wands in themselves typically have to do with movement and or travel or job career. Behind that, the next card is the Three of Swords, and it is upright. The first card that I opened to when I was shuffling the deck was actually the Three of Swords. I mean, it's in reverse. The first card that I opened to when I was shuffling the deck was the Three of Swords upright. And the next card was the Four of Swords, and the next card was the Hierophant. So it was like 3, 4, 5. And I felt that there had been something going on with some sort of contract, commitment, romantic situation, maybe even marriage, that maybe involved some sort of pain, hurt, but people were healing and moving beyond that at this point with the 3, 4, 5, sort of ascending numbers there. So behind this Ace of Wands, we have the 8, which is interesting. Behind these, we have an 8 also. Behind these 2 sevens, there was an 8. The Eight of Wands, and here we have the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is a card that indicates that we, at least in our minds, feel that we're somewhat stuck, trapped, maybe, and it could be due to fear or poor logic, right? Swords have to do with mental energy, logic, our thought process. So if we're thinking that we're stuck and we have no options, that's tends to be incorrect. I mean, it's like a prison of our mind. It's our mind that has us stuck. This could be overthinking also, and maybe worry about, the move or travel or movement that we're seeking in our lives. Because the next card is also a card of movement and or travel. And it is the Six of Swords, also in reverse, like so many of the other cards, like the Ace of Wands from that same deck. So we see that the Two of Swords, that's a card of decision. So we see that decisions have been made, and it is, to heal, to move on. But again, this one's in reverse. So there's some sort of pause. Something may be getting started this week. It may have to do with something from your past or someone from your past, maybe even a soulmate or twin flame that gets going this week, or may have even gotten going last week, because last week the twin flame card even came out in our reading, I think, as did this card. in the surrounding energy, the two of wands, which is traditionally the twin flame card of the tarot, with the 6 of cups, which we also just saw being like the soulmate card of the tarot. Behind the great fortune, we have wealthy man and we have expectation. So this also looks like it perhaps has something to do with a relationship, maybe something that previously people were butting into, or was a 3-party situation, party of 3 situation that might be ending in a dissolution of the partnership or group, maybe even a marriage here. And then that opens up the pathway to courtship in a new relationship. So we have all these 3s. Community, 39 equals 3. 3 plus 9 is 12 is 3. And we have adjudication, which is card number 30, which is also a 3. Just like the 3s of swords that I saw, and then I saw the 4 of swords. The 4 was the healing. All right, so again, whether it's a romantic situation, and if it is a romantic situation, it seems that it's a King of Pentacles type. All right, we have wealthy man. He's here in the business suit, so I'd say a hard worker, or, a good earner, a provider type, traditional, very traditional masculine. And this female or feminine energy who is awaiting his arrival, right? Or the arrival of this fortune, of their very fortunate, abundant union or partnership. She has an expectation that it's going to come. And here we have offer. And the next card behind it is in reverse, but it too is community. So again, this could be something behind the next card is feminine. Right? And we have surrender. So this could involve a situation that maybe previously involved other people, where there was a party of 3 or other people that were butting in and stuff. And they still may be, and maybe that's what the delay is about. But then somebody is wanting to make you an offer, and they are going to, looks like, for at least for the most part, or maybe the most of the people watching, majority of people that will tune in, the decision that is made will be to make an offer. Again, whether for you that means business, that means romantic, whatever it means, there is something coming towards you very, very soon. And it probably starts this week. So while I shuffle these a little bit, or I'll cut them because I did shuffle ahead of the of turning on the camera, I will tell you about 2 songs that I channeled beginning Thursday of last week. 10 of Cups. All right, followed by the Magician. So we're manifesting something, but this Magician is in reverse too. There could be somebody who's trying to like sort of counter manifest. They're hoping that you don't get what you want, which is this 2 of Cups. They're trying to prevent it from coming through. They're trying to steal it. 7 of Swords. It may be this Queen of Wands. She may be the other person for the party of 3. She is in reverse. But the 5 of Pentacles is also in reverse. So that being left out in the cold, being abandoned, or whatever, all that coming to an end. We have this single woman who is looking up at this bird who seems to be carrying something. I believe it might be a message. Maybe the message that is delivered by the 8 of Wands that we also saw. So somebody may try to stop you from getting your abundance, from your abundance coming in, but it doesn't seem to be working. Although, there could be some effect, but it's not going to stop you. So you see, even this 10 of Cups, it's pouring, raining in this 10 of Cups. That's not the way the 10 of Cups usually looks. So it looks like they are having to deal with something, maybe some obstacles, maybe some, rain. Oh man, I'm sorry. I just thought about something that applies to me that came up in my memories all last week. Is the Rihanna song Umbrella. And it's funny because there was also something in the news. I don't know if it's real, like, the internet news, not the news. about this priest or some sort of minister that supposedly died and went to hell. And while he was in hell, he had to listen to Umbrella on loop over and over and over again. So, yeah, Umbrella used to be my ringtone for my, whatever you want to call him. For years, it was his ringtone. And when he would call, or when he was going to call or text, even if we hadn't spoken in months, years even, it was instant manifestation at that time. No need to wait. Umbrella would come on, my phone would ring or ping or something like that. So I was just thinking about normally the 10 of, why I just paused and laughed, is because it popped into my head that normally the 10 of Cups is this very sunny card. It's the family gathering outside together. I don't know what they're doing outside, but they're having a good time, and the sun is shining. And the line in the song Umbrella, when the sun shines, we'll shine together. So it's like that 2 of Cups. After we make it through this rain, we'll get to that. I also hear "Can You Stand the Rain" a lot of the time. That's a song that I channel a lot too. So it's like, if we can make it through that rain, if we can stand the rain, we can get through that, then then we'll be able to experience this 10 of Cups together. So that just came up about me, but I probably won't be talking about me too much this week, because I also saw in my own cards the other day, yesterday or the day before, the High Priestess. So the High Priestess tends to tell me, keep your business to yourself. Like, I mean, doing this sort of work, often I need to share something, but when I see the High Priestess, I usually advise you guys to keep your business to yourselves too, and I try to do the same. Empress in reverse. And it's another 7. Behind it is the 7 of Wands, where you gotta like defend yourself, protect yourself. And perhaps that is, again, because somebody is trying to cause you, we just saw the 7 of Swords, somebody, and the Magician in reverse, somebody trying to cause you obstacles, loss, pain, blocks, to your abundance. And this is you here defending yourself. Maybe even just through something like not sharing your business, High Priestess, keeping your plans, how do they say, close to your chest, as they say. All right, so the songs that I was channeling. So Thursday, beginning Thursday, I started hearing that song either on the radio or in my head. Oh goodness, now what the hell is the song? REO Speedwagon is the band that makes the song. Back to Great Fortune. Oh my goodness, what the hell is the song? I Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. That's the song is. Started hearing that. And then I also started hearing that song, You're the Inspiration, by Chicago. And again, this was both on the radio and in my head. And, like right away, I was like, oh, I'm supposed to take note of this song. And felt that I really don't like when I do that, but I guess I'm meant to. Like when I end up back on the same card on the top, but I did mix them up. Now, what the hell was I saying? So this morning, when I, like my guides were telling me basically to do the reading, and I never got to it. That's a whole other story. I have so many clients that are really going through it. They've just been under such attack, and some very, very seriously ill, like even terminally ill. And you might say like, well, like, how can you help somebody who's terminally ill? So you may not understand. A lot of people don't understand. For example, with like stage 4 cancer. You can have stage 4 cancer is a terminal illness. There is no cure for cancer. So even if a person gets better, they're still terminally ill. All right. But there are a number of different courses of treatment that one can get. And so the doctors will try to give you as many courses of those different treatments that you need. Like they're going to try one that they hope works for you. And if that doesn't work, they'll try something else. If that doesn't work, they'll try something else. It's when they run out of options of things to try that they tell you there's nothing else we can do. So there is still a way to, because of course eventually we all go, right? And this, I do not have the power to prevent somebody from going, of course. But I can help people to be as healthy as they can be, and to fight what might be trying to make them unhealthy in an unnatural way, and also for them to have the best possible outcome in their situation. So even people that we knew were passing, some of my clients have had me work with family members of theirs that they knew were going to pass, but the people were in such pain. They're like, Queen of Swords, can you do something? I'll work with the person. And that pain, thankfully, has been eased. And so when they pass peacefully, as opposed to, in a bad way. So anyway, I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but I said all that to say I got really, really busy, even though I had planned to do the reading this morning, or I was being nudged to do the reading this morning. And when I was being nudged to do it, I'm like, oh, okay, I got to talk about that song, Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore. And I'm like, shit, what the hell was the other song? I couldn't remember it to save my life. And I said it like to myself, I guess to my guides. And then right away, they put the song in my head. Like I started hearing the lyrics of the other song in my head again. And as I mentioned, it is You're the Inspiration. So the first song, Can't Fight This Feeling Anymore, that's basically the chorus, right? It starts, I can't fight this feeling any longer, and yet I'm still afraid to let it flow. So I felt that was the masculine straight off, right? He can't fight off like coming forward anymore, but at the same time, he's still afraid to. So I can't fight this feeling any longer, but I'm afraid to let it flow. What started out as a friendship has grown stronger, and I only wish that I had the strength to let it show. I tell myself that I can't hold out forever. I said there's no reason for my fear because I feel so secure when we're together. You give my life direction, and you make everything so clear. And even as I wander, so like even when he walks away from you, I'm keeping you in sight. And that line made me think about Virgo right off, the hermit. You know how he has that lantern? And I said that he holds that lantern with the star inside of it because he's still watching. He's still, paying attention to what you're doing. Whether he's a Virgo or not, it's the hermit really. And yeah, that came through so strong. So even as I wander, I'm keeping you in sight. You're a candle in the window. I mean, that really made me think about, again, the hermit with that lantern. You're a candle in the window on a cold, dark winter's night. And I'm getting closer than I ever thought I might. So he never expected to come forward in this way. And I can't fight this feeling anymore, is when the chorus starts again. So really, really beautiful song, that one. Actually, I should tell you the next verse too after the chorus. But let me point out, this is the card that most directly represents us this week. And actually this week, I believe it's the second 2-2. I have to look it up. I didn't look up anything before I started this reading. But from memory, I think I remember saying like, oh, the moon's on Groundhog Day. I think I had said that to myself at some point, like a month or two ago. Anyway, so I say all that to say I believe the Leo full moon is this week, possibly on Groundhog Day. And I think that may be why we are beginning with strength. The strength maybe for the masculine to come forward, the strength for the feminine to know what to do with him if he does, the strength to make it through our week, to get past, certain illnesses and things that we're dealing with, attacks that we're under, to make those moves that we saw in the beginning. Whether they're, again, going after a job, accepting an offer, being confident enough to let a potential hirer know what you're capable of and know what you warrant in terms of pay, and to put an offer on the table or to accept an offer. Again, if you're making a sale or you're making a purchase that's major, like something like a home, the strength to do all that kind of stuff. Surrounding energy, the sun in reverse. And work in finance. The Page of Pentacles upright. I like the Page of Pentacles, or any pentacles, upright, particularly in the position of work and finance. All right, so let me, before I forget, go on to that next. So it goes through the chorus. Again, he can't fight the feeling anymore. He's forgotten what he started fighting for in the first place. Like, why was I avoiding this connection? Why was I pretending I didn't care about this person when I know I do? So he's forgotten what he even started fighting for in the first place. And it's something like, I have to crawl on the floor, or I crawled on the floor, and I want to come crashing through your door to say I can't fight this feeling anymore. That's not what I wanted to tell you, though. There was so this, I guess, might be only for people who have, at some point during their separation, if you're separated, you've spoken at least once, or maybe even seen each other. Because it's like, my life has been, I guess it could be the last time you saw them too. My life has been such a whirlwind since I saw you. I've been running around in circles in my mind, and it always seems like I'm following you, because you take me to places that I didn't know I'd find. All right, let me go back to this for a second. Yellow, green. So love and relationship. Wow, Four of Wands in reverse. Even in reverse, the Four of Wands is an awesome card. Physical health. Six of Wands, right underneath the sun in reverse. Six of Wands is also in reverse. And spiritual health. There's that Hermit I was talking about. So that's the lantern. You see the star in it? That's what I meant. All right, so spiritual health is the Hermit in reverse. And if it has to do anything with spiritual relationships, like spiritually based relationships, divine unions, divine partnerships, the Hermit, whether in reverse or upright, is almost always about somebody returning to your life from your past and attempting to rekindle a relationship. So far, right away, it already goes along with what we've seen in the cards, as well as the channeled message through I can't fight this feeling anymore. So the next song, before I get into the meanings of the cards, is, again, You're the Inspiration. And that one goes, you know our love was meant to be the kind of love that lasts forever. And I want you here with me. I started hearing all these lyrics again. As soon as I said to myself, like, what the hell was that other song? It started playing in my head, like, immediately. Like, my guys were like, you are not going to forget this message. You must deliver this message. I want you here with me from tonight until the end of time. Maybe somebody will use this song for their wedding this week. Or, they'll get engaged this week and they'll decide to use this song or something, with the Four of Wands showing up. Because he's saying, like, from tonight until the end of time, you should know you should know everywhere I go, you're always on my mind, in my heart and in my soul. You're the meaning in my life. You're the inspiration. You bring feeling to my life. You're the inspiration. I want to have you near me, and I want to have you hear me say, no one needs you more than I need you. And I know, yes, I know it's plain to see, so in love when we're together. Like he knows that when y'all are together, other people can see your connection, in addition to you guys. Now I know that I want you here with me. He questioned that before. Now he knows. I want you here with me from tonight until the ends of time. And it goes back into the chorus again. You should know everywhere I go, you're always on my mind, in my heart, and in my soul. He wants to have you near him. He wants you to hear him say how he feels about you, and that no one needs you more than he needs you. I think for that one, that's the end of it. It just goes into the chorus again. All right, so getting into these cards. Again, we're beginning with Major Arcana card strength. What was the overall energy? I forgot already. In this deck, the yellow deck. It is the 10 of Cups. All right, so upright. Keep that in mind, too, because our overall energies matter as well. I just needed to turn the deck over so that I could pull. Well, you know what? Now that I've pulled the cards, let me turn it back over. 10 of Cups there. And Empress reverse here. So Major Arcana card strength. So as I mentioned before, the other 8 that we'd seen, the 8 of Swords, I said it was all about mental energy. Swords are about logic or maybe lack thereof, overthinking and things like that. And strength, to the contrary, indicates the importance of mind over matter. So whereas we're allowing our mind or our thoughts to trap us with the 8 of Swords, this is saying like what we put in our mind in a positive way can conquer over whatever else we might be thinking is out there, trying to get us, and to deter us from our path or something. So if you focus on what you do want rather than what you don't want in life, you'll have that, right? It's about creating our own reality. The main point is that we have the ability to sort of harness our thoughts and to use them for our good and really for everyone else's highest good as well. And not only do we have the ability, we kind of have a responsibility to do so. Especially when you're talking about, if you consider yourself a divine being, like you were put here for a purpose. Everybody has a purpose, but you were put here for a really special purpose. And it's sort of like I gave you these gifts to, with which to do it, to complete that purpose or fulfill that purpose. Like, how dare you not even try? You know what I mean? So it's about conquering our fears and controlling our impulses and not losing patience with ourselves or sight of what we're meant to be doing. Now, to get more specific into different areas of our life, basically strength is a wonderful card in no matter whether it's upright or in reverse, in any and every placement in which it could fall, because it is about support. It is literally about strength, the ability, confidence, security, help, assistance, whether you're providing it or you're the one receiving it. And represents the sign of Leo, of course. So our next card is the Sun in reverse. The Sun, God, I should have looked up some stuff because all these wands. I wonder if there's something going on with Jupiter this week that I am forgetting or didn't look into. Man, I don't know. I'm trying to remember where Jupiter even is. I think it might be in Aries. Which would be more wands. Aries is fire, ruled by Mars. I don't know. In any case, the Sun reverse, or I should say even when reversed, is still a sign that we're soon going to be finding ourselves feeling more free than we have in a while. And it could be a long while, maybe even years, and maybe we're more free because a divorce is final. I saw those kind of cards as I was shuffling, right? When I was starting. Maybe we're more free because we're finally getting a new job, or making some headway in our career, or selling a home or buying a home, so we're able to move out from our relatives, whatever. Just feeling more free than, again, we have, and possibly it's a long while. But when it's in reverse, the only like caveat, I guess, sort of, is that there's much less clarity connected to the freedom. And you may have to work harder to bring the freedom about than you would have if it was upright. But it's still like a really positive card and an important time where you may find yourself like beginning to experience different things, different positive things that are very possibly out of like your normal routines or maybe experiences. Or if it has to do with other people, which it is in the placement of surrounding energy, maybe relationships, perhaps a new relationship, maybe you find yourself interested in someone other than your usual type, or a new type is interested in you. Like I know, for example, the type, at least in recent years, the last decade probably, the type that has been interested in me is the younger type or the older type. Like men my age tend not to approach me. They may like me, but if they do, I wouldn't know it because they don't talk to me. So maybe for me, for example, if it had to do with me meeting somebody, I was single, I was in the market, right, to meet somebody, making myself available, maybe I would go after somebody my own age, or maybe I would be surprised by somebody my own age showing interest in me, is what the sun means. So in the case of a job, maybe it's a different type of job than what you would normally do, but something of which you are capable. Remember the strength card. And so you should still be confident in accepting any offer that is reasonable and feasible to you. Okay? Because this placement can have to do with things like coworkers or your work. Again, this is your surrounding energy. Alternatively, it has to do with somebody close to you, somebody around you who is experiencing this sun in reverse energy. When it has to do with things with health and stuff, for me, this is still going to be a positive card when the sun is coming out for health. But again, not as strong or intense as when the sun is upright. And maybe you have to put in some sort of effort, or the person who's experiencing the health matter may have to put in some more effort into maintaining their own health or improving their own health than they normally would, like when the sun is upright. But things like chemo, I was talking about cancer earlier, things like chemo, radiation, x-rays, CAT scans, sonos, somebody who's had a fever and those things, all improvement and or the situation's going well with the appearance of the sun showing up. And since we have the sun sitting, well, not just because we have the sun sitting next to strength, but particularly because we have the sun sitting next to strength, again, the mind over matter thing. So like an improved attitude, even a sunny disposition, right, with the sun, could occur. You could find yourself having one maybe unexpectedly, and just having a more positive attitude can allow or help all these other things to happen too, right? Because it's, again, mind over matter, manifesting things with your head by thinking positively. Another connection between these two cards, the Sun and Strength, is that Major Arcana card Strength represents the sign of Leo, and while Major Arcana card 19, the Sun, represents the sign of Sagittarius, Earth's star, the Sun, so the actual Sun, for those of us living on this planet here, it rules the sign of Leo. So very, very strong Leo energy coming through, and maybe a Leo involved. Also, potentially, again, a Sagittarius involved. Or maybe even if Jupiter is, in fact, in Aries, again, I'm not positive that he is, but if he is, then all three fire signs, more so than perhaps other signs, could be impacted here and involved here. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. Probably in that order. So moving on to the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, in terms of work, this is the placement of work and finance, can indicate that there's like more work than time or energy to be done here. But we shouldn't allow that to scare us. I mean, he's upright. He's and we have the Strength card and we have the Sun card. So he's capable. This is about sort of like how they say, push your sleeves up and dig in and dive in and just do as much as you can. In the case of offers, if you find yourself unemployed or maybe even underemployed, and so you're looking for a new job, you may have more offers than you sort of know what to do with. Again, here's the strength and the confidence to sort of pick your way through them and decide which one is most feasible and reasonable, practical for you, and pick that one. Sunny climate could be involved for some of us too. Just noticing all the yellow, the sunflowers in this card, sitting next to the Sun card, sitting next to the Strength card with Leo, which is represented by the Sun. So a lot of this, I don't know, Florida, California, Texas, other islands and stuff, maybe. Other warm climates is what I'm seeing. Anyway, in terms of finances specifically that aren't necessarily, may or may not be tied to our work, the Page of Pentacles is a sign of like rewards and, again, offers. So maybe a job, maybe a raise, maybe a promotion. If it doesn't have to do with actual money or material, the Page of Pentacles is often something having to do with an apology, an offer in that sense. So it could be the confidence, again, to muster up the strength. Maybe like in the song, Divine Masculine returning, maybe an actual hermit, a Virgo, or other earth sign, Taurus, Capricorn, who is making this return. And, because he's been away for a while, the Sun card in relationships, love and relationship, can be about a break. So again, a separation. So maybe now having the strength again to return from this break and come out of separation and make some sort of apology or other offer, perhaps even of a gift of some sort, looking ahead at this Four of Wands. But let me give everybody a closer look of the Page of Pentacles that I'm talking about. So even though things look good with the Page of Pentacles, this is not a time to gamble or to be unrealistic. Remember, earth signs are grounded. They're very practical and sort of reasonable people, sensible people. They don't like to get too crazy, especially when it comes to money and stuff, right? They're a lot more, disciplined than the rest of us when it comes to money. So just a time to sort of do like a self-appraisal. If when it comes to work, like I was saying before, know what you warrant and what you want to ask for and what you're worth and what you do. And I guess that has to do with relationships too. Sort of like demanding your worth. or expecting your worth when it comes to, well, this is the work and finance placement, but again, I keep looking ahead to the love also. So whether it has to do actually with work and finance or it has to do with love, there is a message coming through about sort of understanding, knowing your worth, and also about deservingness and having earned what you're being given. It's like nobody's doing you a favor here. This is because of your skills. This is because of what you have to offer as well, what you bring to the table. So the Four of Wands, this is the placement of love and relationship, can mean that a relationship is about to become much more committed in the near future. So again, if you were in separation, then obviously there was no commitment at all. So what can it mean for you? Then maybe in the near future you were going to be committed. You start dating or enter a courtship, like the card we saw earlier when I was shuffling. Or maybe you'll go straight to engagement. If this is somebody from your past and they're returning, maybe they'll come back and say, look, I know what I want now. You marry me or something. Maybe that's the offer. I don't know. But this is a good card. I know that much. I know this means sort of leveling up in terms of your relationship and up to and including marriage. You may have a marriage or a special event or something to attend, perhaps. And if you're single and uncommitted, this can be a good place for you to meet somebody. You should definitely make it a point to go if you're invited to this type of event. And, don't, rather than having it turn into an opportunity or not an opportunity, a place, a time when you sort of look around and feel sorry for yourself, like, oh, so-and-so is getting married and I'm not. So-and-so has a man or a woman or whatever and I don't. Look at it as an opportunity to be social, and you could, and to be positive, right? Because if you sink into that negative sort of energy of what I don't have, again, remember these cards were very much about not focusing on what you don't have, but on what you do and what you want so that you could bring it in. So this could be a real good opportunity for you to meet somebody. You could meet that, love of your life at somebody else's wedding or birthday party or whatever it is. If you're already in a committed relationship, then again, it's about leveling up to the next level of commitment. If you're already married, then it's a deepening of your connection, maybe your communication. Sometimes we're together, and even when we're physically together, there's still some sort of distance. We're not talking the way we used to, or we're two ships passing in the night because we both got to work or whatever it is. And so this is about connecting, whether it's reconnecting, the deepening of the connection. All right, so moving on to more wands, the Six of Wands, also in reverse, with regard to health. So it's kind of like what I was saying about the sun, which the Six of Wands is sitting directly under the sun. But with the sun, I was saying that when the sun's in reverse, we may have to do something toward whatever it is we're getting. Even if it has to do with our health, we may have to put some sort of effort in. And that's what the Six of Wands in the position of Six of Wands in reverse, in the position of health, physical health, means also. It means that there is a good deal usually that we can do ourselves in order to support our own good health. Let me pick this one up too. I'm sorry. So everybody can see the detail in the card, because you might get something else out of it yourself. This is about, like, are you eating right or well? Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you thinking positively? All that kind of stuff. And these are all different ways that we can improve our own health, just by, putting in a little bit of effort. All right. So again, it's a good week for health, especially with the sun also showing up here. And last but not least, our hermit. This hermit, if it's a person who is returning to you, and it is about a divine union, a spiritually based relationship, soulmate connection or something, there's a lot of sexual energy here. This person is not only sort of yearning to reunite with you, but for that type of physical intimacy as well with the snake here. And they may have originally come to this revolution with the Cancer full moon, which was the wolf moon. That may be when they first realized that they want to come back, or decided that they want to come back, which would make a lot of sense because Cancer is ruled by the moon and is a very feminine energy and sign, as the moon is very feminine as well. And it can be considered as one of the most loving, probably only second to Pisces, and that's only because Pisces rules like the deepest depths of our soul. So that person that you've hidden in your heart and you didn't tell nobody else about how you feel about them, like only your heart and soul knows, that would be the Pisces. So like Cancer is probably second to that in terms of love and relationship. Speaking of Pisces, Venus entered Pisces. Might have been yesterday. Because when I did last week's reading, I remember saying at the end of the week, and I think it was the 27th or the 28th, that she was entering Pisces. So you have Venus, the goddess and planet of love, entering what I just said was the most like loving sign in terms of the depths of the love. So that could be what's causing all of this too. In any case, I was just made to notice the snake and then the wolf here with this hermit. Doesn't he normally have a staff in his hand? Not a snake. I think he normally has a staff. Anyway, if he is returning specifically because of divine union, or if the spiritual connection of why he's here, showing up here in the spiritual placement, is divine union, this placement of spirituality is another indication that it's time for him to return. And I say that because the hermit in reverse in the placement of spirituality means that you have spent enough time, possibly even too much time, on your own as it relates to your spiritual benefit. Obviously, introspection, any kind of personal or private contemplation, meditation, all these things are very important, obviously. But fellowship with like-minded people is also necessary, right? To have a healthy spiritual health, to have good spiritual health. And so it's time for you to reach out to like-minded people. It's possible that it's just like one, right? It's the divine partner, which is why I was saying it could be an indication of, yes, it's just like the other cards have shown us, time to come out of separation. If it is not about that, if it's more general to you, this has nothing to do with it, but like I said, you could already be in commitment and fellowship. And if that's the case, then it's time for you to fellowship with other people, maybe members of your soul family or tribe, or maybe to find some sort of group, organization of like-minded people whose vibration is likened to your own or higher, from whom you can learn something. The hermit for me is often like a professor or even a lawyer, And so it's connected to education. And I've said many times, often with the Hermit, since it's about being by yourself, you're both the teacher and the student and the subject matter. But when it's in this placement and in reverse, you're being guided to maybe learn something about where you are spiritually through and with the help of and aid of other people like you who may be going through the same things. All right, and that's what we have this week. So let's check out some oracles too. Why don't I pull out one for each archetype? So a masculine one and a feminine one from each of these decks. All right, beginning with masculine, we have change. And we have there's a chariot. So again, there's movement for you. There's some sort of change. There's nobody in the car yet, but it looks like this guy's about to get in. Same way with the it looked with the card with which we began, when the king or whoever was about to get in was entering the chariot, but he had not stepped into it yet. So this is like the same type of picture, but so this week you're getting in, and there's movement that's going to happen very, very soon, and it's going to be some sort of change in your life, or cause some sort of change, improvement, change for the better. Feminine, main male. So this is definitely, again, an indication of movement on the part of the divine masculine, whether you are already in partnership of some sort, commitment of some sort, or not. This is a deepening. This is a moving forward. This is leveling up. This is a return of the main male, of the divine masculine. From the Twin Flame Oracle for the masculine, we have divine timing. So we've seen that, right? I kept saying the divine is present. It's guidance that's coming through that is specifically from the divine, that now's when it's time for you to move. And we just saw that again, going through all these cards all the way just up to now with the Hermit. That, okay, you've been off on your own long enough. It's time, divine time, for you to return at this point and fellowship. For the feminine, we have soulmate. Wow. Compatibility, companionship, your best life partner. What a way to end a reading. We have that soulmate card joining the main male, or the divine masculine. Hope all you guys have enjoyed this reading. Please do like, share, subscribe, and comment. I do appreciate it. Namaste.